Thought I'd add this video to the comments section to add a little more detail to the post above. Don't do this too often and probably should. One of the things I'm uncovering during training is, sometimes within a group, there always will be, people who are going to create friction and they don't agree with where the company's going. And the problem is sometimes the company gets too focused on that. They worry too much about the friction makers, and it changes the way they train, coach, and lead. And what I was trying to say in the post above is don't get distracted by that. Identify the behaviors you need to transfer to your team so they can be successful and the company can be successful as well. Ultimately, as you start to roll out those behaviors, measure them, bring them into your coaching sessions, the naysayers, the non-willing, will stand out. They will not like that bright light of accountability and awareness because you're changing your process to measure these things and recognize people accordingly. And that will come into a separate process that you'll be able to hold them accountable to from those systems you're putting in place to measure those behaviors with the goal of recognizing people, but also coaching people up when the gaps are there. But what I find a lot of organizations do is they spend time on the disgruntled, and it shows up in the way they trust those that are heavily bought in. I've always found that you train the 90%, not the 10. And what I mean by that is 90% of people in organizations want to do well. They either don't have the behaviors, don't have the clarity, or don't have the practice to do that and understand what expectations look like. And if you give them that, they're going to succeed. And don't get sucked into the 10% of people who aren't going to change their behavior anyways. Don't let that show up and take away the inspiration, the enthusiasm, and the effort you're putting into your other people. It's important. Have a look at that, see if it's an opportunity.